I'd like to call the meeting in order. I guess we're going to salute the flag, David?
We are.
Okay, so that's why you have the flag behind you, I guess?
It is.
Okay. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. The New Jersey Open Public Meeting Act was enacted to ensure the right of the public to have advance notice of and to attend the meetings of public bodies at which any business affecting their interest is discussed or acted upon. In accordance with the provisions of this act, the board secretary has caused notice of this meeting, including date, time, location, and to be posted in the South Brunswick Public Library and the board office, filed with the township clerk, and communicated to the Home News Tribune and the Star Ledger. Can I have a roll call, Mr. Pulowski, please?
Maybe out of order, but yes, we'll go. Arthur Robinson.
Yes.
Joseph Scaletti.
Yes.
Joyce Mehta.
Yes.
Lisa Rogers.
Yes.
Joyce Mehta.
Yes.
Said that.
Oh, I got my screens all mixed up. Dr. Parker.
Here.
Devin Patel.
Yeah.
Mr. Del Piano.
Yeah.
Mr. Ray Keener.
Yes.
Mr. Barry Nathanson.
Yes,
And did I get Mr. Joseph Scaletti?
Yes.
you did.
We have a roll call. We have a meeting.
Can I get an approval of tonight's agenda, please?
I'll move it.
Second.
Moved by Devin Patel, second by Joe Scaletti. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Can I get a motion to move to executive session?
Motion.
Moved by Mrs. Rogers, second by Joyce Mehta. Be it resolved that the board, all in favor? Any
Aye.
opposed? Be it resolved that the Board of Education of the Township of South Brunswick hereby moves to go into executive session in accordance with the Sunshine Law, Chapter 231 of the Public Laws of 1975, 10:4-6 through 10:4-21, to discuss the following: personnel. We're back from executive. David, can I get a roll call, please, that we're back?
Yes. Roll call vote. We got Patrick Del Piano.
Yeah.
Raymond Keener.
Yes.
Joyce Mehta.
Yes.
Dr. Stephen Parker.
Here.
Mr. Devin Patel.
Yes.
Mr. Arthur Robinson.
Yes.
Mrs. Lisa Rogers.
Yes.
Mr. Joseph Scaletti.
Yes.
Mr. Barry Nathanson.
I'm here.
We all
Okay,
have a roll call. We are here.
Okay, I want to welcome everybody from the public that are listening to us either on the live stream or here on the Zoom. Can I get approval of minutes, executive minutes of March 2nd, 2020, and board minutes of March 2nd, 2020, please?
Make a motion to accept the minutes.
Moved by Ray Keener, second by Stephen Parker. All in favor?
Aye. All right.
Any opposed? Thank you. Scott, the report of the superintendent by Mr. Fetter. Go ahead, Mr. Fetter. Okay,
So
go
first,
ahead.
welcome, everybody. I do want to start, for those that are tuned in, waiting for the Q&A at 8 o'clock. We did cancel that for this evening, but we will be bringing that back. So be on the lookout for a communication about scheduling. That meeting will be with our Chief of Police, Ray Haduka, Mayor Charlie Carley, as well as our Township Administrator, Bernie. So that's going to come up. Again, you'll get information from both the Nixle and from David, can you mute everybody but me, please? I'm going to give my report, everyone. Welcome back. Our second virtual meeting. I'm going to start by sharing some information, a lot going on, and then give you kind of a state of the state regarding where things are in the district with COVID-19. First, I want to let you know that we have reinstated, as of today, kindergarten registration. It's extremely important. Please
No, I'll try to.
with kindergarten students to register. This is a big deal for how we staff our schools. So the more we know about what our kindergarten enrollment will look like, the better. So please keep doing that. Another important announcement. Regardless of remote learning, we are still going to do a very important thing that we do every year called Teacher and Support Person of the Year. So the Educator and Educational Support Person of the Year will be announced at the end of this week. Honorees will be recognized at a future board meeting. And we're very excited about doing that. It's a very, very important part of our traditions in South Brunswick. And we are looking forward to honor our best and brightest each year. It's a very important project. Another great announcement. We were selected, one of 754 school districts across the nation, as a 2020 Best Community for Music Education. This is by the NAM Foundation, and no surprise, our district is just top of the heap when it comes to anything related to music. So congratulations to our staff, and as well as our students for being recognized in this way. Again, only 754 districts in the whole country were selected, and it's proud to be one of them. I'm going to share a little something for our juniors. There is a 2020 virtual college fair that you were invited to, and it's on May 4th through May 6th. This event will host 3 days of live stream expert presentations for students and families and concurrent virtual college fair. So again, having a senior, myself, these are challenging times as kids cannot really get onto their campuses. If they've chosen, there's still 10 days left before they have to make a final choice of what school they're going to. So that is also challenged right now. And of course, our juniors who would have been probably looking at colleges this last week over spring break lost that opportunity as well. So again, with all of the uncertainty, this is just another piece to that. Another great event that we do every year is our Health and Wellness Fair. This year, due to the COVID-19, the Mental Health and Wellness Fair will go virtual. And this is a unique opportunity that will allow us to extend our program to serve families and our entire South Brunswick community. We hope you guys can join that and look for information about that coming up. In community education news, so far 500 people have signed up and taken advantage of the free online courses offered through community education. Kudos go out to Jennifer, our new community ed director. Great news, and keep coming, people. As we keep offering these, please jumping online. I do want to share some very cool news about our food distribution. Just to summarize it, we have provided on Wednesday, last Wednesday before break, we provided enough meals for 8 days for our families in need. That was over 4,300 meals that we provided. Right now, Chartwell's is doing an amazing job. Our team is doing an amazing job. We're feeding kids every week. We take that work seriously. It's of extreme importance to our community. And we're just very proud of the work that everyone is doing to support all of our families. You can also look around and see what the township is doing with the food pantry. They're growing. It's really amazing during crisis how many people pop up and do that. So what I want to talk about now is just a general kind of a COVID-19 update on where things are, and then on a few topics. I know one of the topics that we're all concerned with, that probably everybody is concerned with, is what is reentry? When is reentry? If we have reentry this year, as of right now, the governor has closed schools until May 15th. To be clear, he has not stated that schools will open after May 15th. He has just stated they are closed at least until May 15th. So what we don't know is when will we return? Will we be open this school year? Will we be open in the summer? And will we be open in September? We don't know. We also don't know what type of parameters might be there. Will there be social distancing requirements, mask requirements, temperature check requirements? So for all of the people that have questions about re-entry topics, unfortunately, my answer to all of those questions is I just don't know at this time. However, we are working on scenarios for all different types of scenarios for different times when we might enter. What happens if we don't? What happens if we don't come back in September? What happens with graduation? What happens with end of the year celebrations? What happens with getting your stuff out of your locker? All of the things that we are used to, the normalcies, they're not here right now. And there's a very good chance they won't be here by the time school is over, which is extremely sad to not be able to celebrate our seniors, to say goodbye to your friends and your teachers in this setting, knowing that right now kids can't even say hello to their friends, for the most part, absent of a Zoom meeting or a Google Hangout or Instagram or FaceTime. So it's a lot of loss right now. But of course, all of that pales in comparison to people that are losing family members that are sick. It's extremely important to remember, as hard as all of this is for us, there are people suffering with real tremendous loss. And I will remind us, we will get through this, and we will continue to focus on our compassion for families, for each other, and for supporting each other at all aspects of what we're doing. I want to share another topic that is of interest. Before we went into all of this and into remote learning, we were in the middle of probably one of our most challenging budget crises in recent history. That has not changed. In fact, if any news, it might be worse. We all know, to no fault of anyone, the state is not bringing in the tax revenue that is normal. The state normally collects and rolls a budget of about $40 billion. And if we can just imagine how much loss there is right now financially, a very big burden to many of our families, many of our local businesses, and the world in general. The finances are a big problem. That could have even a deeper impact on the district as we approach next school year. So we are looking at that, all aspects of the budget and all aspects of potential further loss. Not good news, but it would be worse news if we don't plan for it. So I give our Board of Education a lot of credit for making sure that we do the right thing for this district. So we'll be doing that, and we'll be continuously communicating with our families about what that could look like in the district. Another topic that is coming up, we've already talked to you about grading, and we've shared our position on grading. We are approaching grading with that compassion. We understand that this is not normal. This is not school. This is a version of school, none of which any of us have asked for. But it is the version we have. It's the version we're going to do extremely well. When it comes to placement, some of the placement's already been done. Some things have already happened. Kids have picked their classes at certain levels. But there's a lot of questions still out there. And what we want you to know is we're looking at that right now. We are in the middle of coming up with an entire placement module, very similar to what we did with grading, where we'll communicate to you on all the aspects of placement, from elementary student class placement to high school placements, to 8th to 9th grade placements. We've had some people with questions about how their grade will impact that, and the normal process can't work. We need to make adjustments. So we're going to be talking about that, and we'll be sharing that with our community as well. Another area that we just don't know the answers to right now, but we are planning for, is summer. In Summer Institute, before we went into remote learning, we had about 500 registrants. We would have expected that to get to over 700 registrants. However, what does it look like online? Can we do any in person? We don't know yet. So we're planning for all of that. We also believe that there'll be some students who this is just not working for, and they might need more support. How can we provide that over the summer, especially if we're still in remote mode? Then we have things like summer camp, summer academy. Will those function? Obviously, summer camp will not function if there are restrictions. Summer academy will probably not function if there are restrictions. So we have to think about all of those things. Something, again, as simple as kindergarten orientation. We just want to let you know, while we don't have answers, we do know the questions, and we are working hard and as a team to come up with plans for all different scenarios. Things like curriculum impact. Will there be a need? How will we assess students when they return? All of those things are part of what we do every day in our work. All of our staffing, you obviously, if we do open in September, you don't want, even if we don't in remote, you still want to make sure your teachers, your students have teachers. That all has happening right now. We do virtual interviews. We will still have new staff orientation. We will still do all of those things. The big one on the table, of course, end of the year celebrations. That's a big deal. And the biggest of them is, of course, graduation. So I know the high school has a laundry list of all of these things that happen in their school at the end of the year and how they're going to capture all the ones that they can. Graduation is a big topic. It's being discussed. It's being built. Graduation of some sort will happen in some way. Then there's also end of the year 8th grade, end of the year 5th grade. All of the various things that happen in a school, elementary, middle, and high school, that make a year culminate. Those things could all be gone in their traditional sense. So we still want to be able to provide them. But here's where we start to turn the corner a bit. And instead of only talking about those challenges, there's some things that we can learn from this. There are some huge positives that could come out of this. How we look at technology. Right now, the district is functioning in a one-to-one environment where every kid has a piece of technology with them at all times. What can we learn from that? How can we make that something that helps kids learn from here on out, even in regular learning situations? That's a huge win. Look at all the adults. We're all learning technology better. And look how much smarter our parents are getting right now as they keep learning what their kids are learning. There really are a lot of positive takeaways from this. It's just hard to see the positive when we're in this situation. But we're looking at that, and we want you to know that. We're not only looking at the challenges, we're looking at our lessons learned and how we can apply those lessons in the future. We're also looking at what are our wins. We actually have some wins. We really can see at the strength of our ability to manage this. A lot of positive comes from that. And families, it's an amazing experience. We get to work differently with our families. We get to learn more about our families. So we see there's many wins and many lessons that we've learned and we'll continue to learn over the next few months. And we want to make sure you understand that we look at it that way. So without further ado, that is my report, Mr. Nathanson, but I would like to bring it back and see if Tabitha is available to give a student report with your approval, sir.
Yeah, there you go. Tabitha. Hello.
Hi, I switched to my phone. I'm not sure if you guys can hear
No,
me.
that's good. That
Okay.
works. Go ahead.
Great. Hi, everyone. I just want to start off by saying that I miss you guys a lot, and I do miss the board meetings a lot. And I do hope that everyone is staying home and staying safe. I know that this is a really scary and difficult time for all of us. And my heart does go out to, as Mr. Fetter said, the people that are experiencing tremendous loss and sickness during this time. But on behalf of South Brunswick students, I did want to thank the board for how flexible you guys have been and how attentive you've been, not only to the needs of students, but parents and teachers as well. And just for the community, I hope that everyone is safe. I hope that everyone is trying to find a little bit of joy in the situation and the wins, as Mr. Fetter was talking about. I know that I've been able to spend more time with my family, which has just been really rewarding. But for tonight's report, I just wanted to mention a few things that the high school is still doing despite the circumstances, because there is a few, but not a lot, but there is a few. But I'm just going to list them off kind of. So the art club has been having virtual gallery walks. Some sports, such as girls lacrosse, post daily on the classroom in order to stay connected to the team. The high school mental health fair is still happening virtually on the 24th, and there will be live Q&A sessions with mental health professionals, and there's more information on this to come. But the student council is regularly having meetings over Zoom, as well as the class councils, and student and class councils are preparing to have online elections as well. And student council has been doing online spirit days for the months of March and April, and so we've been encouraging students to post on their social medias with the hashtag SBHS goes remote, which I'm sure other teachers and staff members have been doing as well, so keep an eye out for that. Yeah, but just before I close out, I just wanted to say that I'm really grateful for being able to just see the love that the teachers and administration has for the students. And I'm grateful for the flexibility of the teachers, as Mr. Fetter was saying, and just how they've taken the time to consider our needs and ask the students, how we're feeling during this new experience. And I really do miss school, which I think is funny coming out of my schooler's mouth. But this experience has shown me just how united our community can be, even during such trying times. And it makes me so happy and proud to be a part of the South Brunswick community. But I really hope that everyone is doing well and that everyone is staying safe during this time. Thank you.
And Mr. Nathanson.
And we miss you too. Go ahead, Scott.
One more thing. Say this before Tabitha went. So here's a reality check for all of us. We've gone through a month of remote learning, and in that month was the opening stages of this whole experience. Now we've had a break, and now we're back. And we want our families to understand, we understand ourselves. Money could be very different for families right now. And if your family has any needs of any kind, we want you to reach out. We have ways to support you, many different ways, financially, with food. There are lots we can do for you. We want to be supportive of our families. The next 2 months, if we are closed for the rest of the year, are going to be trying. People are losing their jobs. There's lots of things out there. Health is a problem. We just want you to know that all of us, all the teachers, all the administration, all of the board members care greatly about every single person in this community. And we have made some rules that we believe is about compassion, that is about supporting our students and understanding the issues that are in homes right now. We have many health workers that live in South Brunswick. Their kids are not getting the same attention right now as those health workers are out there saving the rest of us. And I love the commercial we see that talk about our health workers saying, we're at work, you stay at home. We're at work for you, you stay at home for us. That we have a lot of kids who are living in those households right now where their parents are first responders. They're essential employees. So our teachers understand that. Our grading system understands that. Our placement decisions will understand that. The school's here to help the best we can, and we just want you to know that. The next 2 months could be hard. Just understand we know that in advance. And we thank all of you for your support. I don't think we've ever seen the kind of support from the community the way we have now. And it doesn't fall on deaf ears. It has been extremely appreciative. It's helped our teachers and our administration to get through this very tough time. I remind everyone that our teachers are also home doing this essential work with their little children too. So it's a challenge for everybody. And we want you to understand that we are understanding of all that. And with that, I'll turn it back over to you, Mr. Nathanson.
Thank you. And thank you, Tabitha. Moving along, tonight is the first reading of several policies. So I'm going to call on Arthur Robinson to talk on these policies. Go ahead, Arthur.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. President. Most of you have already seen the policies as part of the business update that Scott sent out. But basically, the policy committee from time to time, which includes Devin and Joyce and members of the administration, we generally get policy updates from our service Strauss Esme. And then some of these policies are mandatory, some of them are revisions, some of them are new policies. So what I'm going to do is there's about 10 of them, I believe. So I'm going to just give a summary of it. And this is the first reading. So board members will be able to contact me or any member of the policy committee with any questions that they have. And at a future board meeting, then there'll be a second reading and final adoption. So the first one, just going by the list, is the board officers. Basically, that's policy 0152. It's revised. It really doesn't apply to our district. This is essentially related to voting for officers via paper. We don't use paper. We just generally, it's by voice vote. The second policy is 1581, domestic violence. That's a mandatory policy. 1581, basically, it just mandated a uniform domestic violence policy as per the Civil Service Commission, which includes the New Jersey Security and Financial Employment Act and New Jersey SAFE Act. That's basically what that policy is. The next policy is 2422, health and physical education. Let's see. Sorry for the pause. And look at it. Okay, let's see. Oh, I'm sorry, that's 2422, which is health and physical education. Okay, that policy is a mandatory policy. Its curriculum updates to include financial literature, history of disabled and LGBT persons in middle school and high school policies and procedures. The next policy is 3421.3 and 2421.3, dealing with postnatal accommodations. This is a highly recommended policy. It just ensures basically that lactation policies have been implemented in the district, not mandatory, but recommended. As part of the Fair Labor Standards Act, employers with 50 or more employees shall make accommodation for nursing mothers. That's the purpose of that policy. The next policy is 5330, administration of medication. This is a mandatory policy. It basically updates for the hydrocortisone sodium succinate administration, includes designee in place of the superintendent. The next policy is 7243, deals with supervision of construction. That policy is a mandatory policy. It ensures that contractors that are in the vicinity of students pass background checks and that the district has in place a process. So it opens the contractors list of employees up to the district. Okay, the next policy is 8210 school year, 8220 school day mandatory. Okay, this policy is based on the New Jersey Department of Education memorandum. Delayed opening and early dismissal policies requires the district to identify the start and end times for shortened days as part of the policy. The annual board approval of a school calendar with starting and ending times of each school in the district. It's a mandatory policy, but it's already implemented in our district. That's the key point on that. And the last one is 8462, which is reporting potentially missing or abused children. Okay, this requires building display apartment of children and families state central registry toll-free hotline reporting child abuse. And this actually, these posters will be in all school buildings. So basically, Mr. President and members of the board, that's the report from the policy committee. Like I stated earlier, if you have any comments or additions, please let me know, or members of the policy committee. And at a future date, we will have a second reading and final adoption. That's my report.
Thank you, Art. Yeah, David.
Oh, just to reiterate, all of these policies are available to board members on the shared drive.
Correct. Okay, moving along, we're going to move to public comments. I'm going to read the public comment statement, and David, you can tell the public how we're going to do this, especially that we're in both live feed and people are on. So the Board of Education recognizes the value of public comment on educational issues and the importance of allowing members of the public to express themselves on school matters of community interest. Complete copies of the rules governing portions are available on our website. Obviously, there's no back of the room. Advanced copies also can be by contacting the board office during the regular business hours. We reserve the right to limit each speaker to no more than 3 minutes. It is our plan to listen to each member of the public. We will note all questions and comments. Once all questions and comments from all members of the public are made, the Board of Education will respond, if necessary, to questions or comments in the most timely and efficient manner available. Please consider not repeating comments and questions made by other members of the public. I'll ask you to state your name, place of residence, or your group affiliation. David, can you explain to the public how we're going to do this, please?
Absolutely. So what we're going to do is everybody who's listed, everybody who is logged into the meeting as of right now, what you will do is if you want to provide a public comment or have an opportunity to speak during the meeting, there is a wave button that you can put a hand up and wave at the bottom of your screen. If you go down, it's called a reaction, and you can go ahead and wave. That would allow us to identify you, and then when we identify you, we will, I'll unmute you, and then I'll turn your video on, and you could, actually I might not even have to turn your video on, but I will unmute you, and then you could have an opportunity to make your public comment to the board. So maybe we're all just not a little tech savvy, but I right now don't see anybody who is waving to comment. So is there any public comment right now for the board? Oh, I got one. Chris R. Hi, Chris. How are you today?
Hi, good. How are you?
Could you state your name first and last?
It's Christine Resnick. I live in Kendall Park. I just wanted to thank the entire community for the outpouring of items that we were collecting for the nursing staff at the 3 local hospitals. And we are currently in the process of collecting posters for a wall of thanks for all of the nursing staff, first responders, again at the 3 local hospitals. And I wanted to thank Donna Maureen from over at the high school. She has her club participating, and some of these kids have drawn some fabulous posters to thank these people for putting their lives on the line to help others. And the other issue that we had come up with the staff at the hospitals was head coverings. They're having a problem locating them. So if we have any sewers out there, on the South Brunswick Cares About Schools website, Lisa, as a parent, posted some information about what they need and how you can help. So again, I just want to thank everyone for their participation in our wall of thanks. They will be going up probably the beginning of next week. One will be located outdoors, so everyone will probably see it if you drive down Route 1 towards Penn Medical. The other 2, we were lucky enough to, Audra had a contact with the Middlesex County Health Department, and they put us in touch with someone who can actually put the signs, the posters up and create the walls for us inside the hospital so they don't get spoiled by the weather. So I just wanted to thank everyone from the schools and the community that are participating in these events, that we're just trying to raise some spirits for those people who are out there on a daily basis. So that's all. Thank you.
Thanks, Chris. Appreciate it. Anyone else interested in speaking, please go down to the reaction button and wave. David, you see anyone else?
Right now, I do not see anybody else. I have, yep, right at the bottom, it says raise hands. If anybody's, I do not see anybody else.
Okay, I'm gonna move to close the public portion. Then, board committee reports. The only committee that met was the policy committee, and Arthur spoke about it already. Art, do you have any more, anything else to say about the policy committee meeting?
Oh, I don't, but I believe Mr. Patel has something he wants to add.
No,
Yeah,
Barry, the curriculum committee also met.
Oh, sorry, the curriculum met too. Go ahead.
Thank
Go
you,
ahead, Dan.
President. So curriculum committee met on March 26th, and it was also a virtual meeting. Attendees were Lisa Rogers, Joyce Mehta, Barry Nathanson, Jan Desler, and Mr. Feder, along with myself. So few items we discussed was one of them was the COVID-19 continuity of learning plans, that remote learning. It's working out, like Mr. Feder said in his report, everything is working out. We needed some tweak based on some community survey that we did on March 30th. So they worked on that and they are still continuing working on it. But it's looking like the report, the feedback we are getting from community is fabulous, and still working on wherever the area of improvements are. Fun Fridays, I know my kids told me they are in high school that every Friday is going to be Fun Friday. So they are excited about that. But I know that we are implementing in K-12 so that it's to help all the students with the mental wellness and Pride in Students Day. So that's one more implementation we are doing as a Fun Friday. And grading and assessments. I think everyone got a message about how the grading is going to be for last trimester or semester is going to be. And we all shared as businesses as usual. And if you have any questions, this all committee meeting notes are on a shared drive for us board members to review. So if you have any questions, you can reach out to me or Jen or Scott. Thank you.
Okay, thanks, Devin. Okay, closing the board comments, board committee reports. Can I get a motion to approve tonight's agenda? Moved by Lisa Rogers, second by Ray Keener. David, can I get a roll call, please?
Sir Patrick Del Piano,
Yes.
Mr. Raymond Keener,
Yes.
Mrs. Joyce Mehta,
Yes.
Dr. Stephen Parker,
Yes.
Mr. Arthur Robinson,
Yes.
Mr. Devin Patel,
Aye.
Mrs. Lisa Rogers,
Yes.
Mr. Joseph Scaletti,
Yes.
Mr. Barry Nathanson.
Yes. Motion's
Motion carried.
approved. Motion's approved. Okay, moving along, board communication. Anyone would like to speak this evening? Seeing no hands, I'm just gonna say some brief stuff. It's very interesting how things we have to cope with during this times, how we have to shop, how we have to see our loved ones. We've had several holidays pass, religious holidays. I know myself, we had a virtual Passover Seder, which was very interesting and challenging. So I know Ramadan's coming up, and I want to wish those that practice in the religion that a easy fast. So tonight, it's interesting. Tonight begins a Jewish holiday that a lot of people are not aware of. It's a worldwide holiday. It's called Yom HaShoah, which is the Holocaust Remembrance Day. And it hits home for me personally because my mother is a survivor. So the rabbi from B'nai Tikva sent something out tonight because all services have been virtual. And so tonight, what he said is, we remember the victims and honor the survivors. Our current condition cannot compare with the Holocaust. Nevertheless, most of us have never experienced the challenges that confront us today. So I had some, when we first started this, I had some discussions with my mother and some of her friends, and it brought, unfortunately, this time has brought back unreal memories of her time in Austria in the late 30s, early 40s. So it's amazing how it's hit different people at different times. So I wish the entire community to stay safe, and especially this board. I have to personally thank Scott Fetter, David Pulowski, Kim and Jen for the unreal job that they've done in the last few months. It goes beyond words, and our entire staff has just been remarkable. And I know Tabitha mentioned some of the different sports are involved virtually. All our teachers, everybody that still continues to be involved. It's an amazing situation. And I also have to remember the unreal amount of families that have lost loved ones to this awful virus. In town and statewide, our numbers only second to New York, which is very sad, but nationwide it hit over 40,000 that passed today, and that number is extremely scary. So we continue to do what we have to do to run the district. We continue to do what we have to do to do what we need to do within the town. I also want to thank the mayor, the town council, Bernie Hastovic, the chief and the deputy chief, because they've been fantastic, from day one. I mentioned before that we were on the feed with the commissioner, and the commissioner was talking, well, he's been in this for 20 days. And Scott and I had a laugh afterwards because we had 2 weeks prior to their starting any discussion about it. We shut schools and the township went to an emergency situation. So we were on top of it at least 2 weeks before anyone else. So again, everybody has done a fantastic job. I appreciate the town being on this feed. We have, at some point tonight, the numbers were over 60 people. Right now it's about 40. So that's an amazing thing now that we're on virtually. And we're feeding live too. So I thank David and Sharon and Scott for organizing this tonight. And like Scott said to the public, we will be doing the Q&A or the town meeting, whatever you want to call, at some point as we work out the logistics. So please stay on the lookout for that. Either it'll be coming out in the Nixle or in your Friday folders or on Facebook somewhere. the information will come out as soon as we set that up. So I want to wish everybody again safe month as we come back in a few weeks. When David or Scott, when's our next meeting?
May 4th.
May 4th. So please stay safe. If there's any questions, you know how to get hold of any of us. And that's especially for board members. So please stay safe, South Brunswick. And I want to wish you a good evening to everybody.
Motion to adjourn.
Move to adjourn by Joe Scaletti, second by Pat Del Piano. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay. Good night, South Brunswick.
Good night.
Good night,
Thank you.
everyone.
Thank you.
Good night.
Good night.